A CRN original.
Attention, you are about to hear the captivating voice of an icon in the movie industry. You have heard him and seen him in performances in over 140 films. He's met and influenced many world leaders, and now he's about to tell you how to unite the America he loves.
That job's filled.
Unique.
Unique.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
And unpredictable.
Unpredictable.
Robert Davi is a Renaissance man who writes, directs, sings, and does it all with excellence.
Yeah, it's okay. We're all very impressed, but let's get on with it now.
Robert Davi believes he should use his voice to both repay and help unite America, the America that made his dreams come true.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Robert Davi Show.
Good day, my dear friends. So, here we are. Once again, me putting in my earbuds. But thank you. There's a lot about COVID in the news, and I think it's a reason. I understand that there are several trains of thought on this COVID thing, and a lot of the conservative friends of mine and are worried about the impingement on our freedoms, and libertarians and independents, and I understand that. I understand the impingement on our freedoms. I think there's a lot worse that's happening, and whether or not this COVID thing was intel services are not telling us for sure if it was an attack on purpose, but it sure feels nefarious to me, as I've been saying for a year and a half. But how do I communicate the sense of responsibility that people should have toward themselves and toward society? I know there are a lot of anti-vaxxers. I got vaccinated. I'll probably get a booster. I take my zinc and my D3, and who knows what's going to happen. Within a week, here's what I've heard. A friend of mine, oldest friend, his two sons, 10 days COVID, and they're in their 20s, and they're in good shape. They were in the military, young boys, young men that were healthy, vibrant. Both COVID. One in the hospital with double pneumonia. All right, they hadn't gotten vaccinated. Then a cousin of mine in Alabama, his family got it. And this is a conservative, and this is a man that had gotten vaccinated. His family was vaccinated. They got COVID. Subsequently, he took hydrochloroquine and Z-Pak. Z-Pak to me is suspect because it has been known to cause heart arrhythmia. And the New York Times did a big article on the Z-Pak. So I say beware of the Z-Pak. You can look that up on Google. But the hydrochloroquine, he says, helped break his fever. He had 104 fever, and then took the hydrochloroquine, and 2 days later it broke the fever. Now, but he, his wife, and his baby, who's 2 years old or so, got the COVID. Then I heard this morning, two celebrities, older, shall go nameless, both vaccinated, here in Hollywood, COVID. One has been hospitalized twice. So when you have this anecdotal kind of evidence of what's happening with this virus, and you hear so many different stories about what could possibly happen and how many more people will be infected, 200,000 a day, I'm hearing in certain instances. I'm hearing that a variant might be established that is now totally vaccine, can elude the vaccine. Who knows? I don't know any of this stuff here. I'm not a scientist. I'm just looking at it from an objective point of view that we have to be cautious. Like when we first heard of this terrifying variant, or The first COVID-19. It is not out of. It's exploding. Melbourne, which a week ago, 2 weeks ago, lifted their mask mandate and freedom, is now back in lockdown. Other countries now and cities are now back in lockdown. Now people say, well, by the summer, by the fall. No. I have a suspicion, and from the scientists I've talked to, this is going to get worse during the fall. Going to get worse. What are we doing? And I don't care who is in office now, but the border has to be closed. How can anyone with a half a brain, how can any political party, and I like to be unifying in this, but how can you keep the border open when there thousands of people are coming across with variants and then they're being shipped to different pockets of America? And the news is not covering this. And I heard somebody like Keith Olbermann say about DeSantis saying in terms of challenging Joe Biden to please close the border. And Keith Olbermann called DeSantis a fascist. That pig of an Olbermann calling somebody a fascist because he wants what's right for the American people. What is wrong with the paradigm of this political parties that we have today? They're corrupted. They're corrupted, and we stand around and we scratch our heads and we say, what's splitting us apart instead of unifying us? And then finally you have an Olympic athlete that drapes herself in the American flag and doesn't talk about color, but talks about being an American, and that hard work got her there. I'll have to get her correct pronunciation of her name for the next segment, but everyone's talking about her because she draped the flag around and she's proud to be an American. The wrestler. What's wrong with that? So, dear friends, we have to examine the soul of America. I wrote about this, the battle for the soul of America. I wrote about it in 2015. And Joe Biden used that as his campaign slogan. You see? They used it, what I used, in 2015, 2016. I'll read you the article, just so you know it. Because it's the battle for the soul of America. That's what we have right now. And we've got to wake up. We've got to wake up. And I did it with such a simple, however you want to look at it, however you want to interpret things, because it's all how we interpret stuff, isn't it? And I've always felt that the Judeo-Christian values of our country. I wrote this December, my dear friends, of 2015. That's 6 years ago. December of 2015, I wrote this. And I'm going to quote it, but I'm going to update it in my brain today. My dear fellow Americans, wake up out of your slumbering malaise and take responsibility for your part in dismantling America. You have accountability in being asleep at the voting booth. The country is being run into the ground. Run into the ground. It's happening now. This is 6 years ago. And it's happening at a quicker pace now. We have an election in California that can turn the tide. I'm understanding that the recall now with Gavin Newsom is in double digits. I don't know if that's so or not, because depending on what poll is, and we know how everything is manipulated. But we do know that there's a recall, the potential of a recall. And let's pray that there is mismanagement of a state by a governor, and the the leniency toward criminal behavior is atrocious. Now, we're electing leaders of countries. We're not. I love sports, and I don't spend hours watching events, movies, or television. Well, entertaining, they become the opium of the clueless and misinformed masses. I'm more of a political junkie. And I've been for years because it matters. I watch all shows, read as much as I can. I find politics is a sport. It's fascinating to me because it's a game that matters. It's a game that influences. It's not left on the field and a trophy. It has far-reaching effects decades down the line, like the decades of corruption in California. And believe me, there's corruption. We had the lottery that was supposed to help education, and I know from educators that the bloated budgets of the administrators don't give it to the students, and we have 80% of our black students that cannot read or have below standard reading levels in California. Now, over the years, I've learned about the manipulation of the media. I'm in film and television for the past 40 years. I've gotten up close and personal education in how perception is shaped, sculpted. And it was eye-opening, at the very least it was. Because it's all a sham. It's all a sham, my dear friends. Sometimes the most talented do not get their due. But those who have the correct groupthink, money, politics, and alliances do. When I come back, more about this battle for the soul of America.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
Robert Davi.
You know, I'm the one delivering the message, not receiving it. Emera Mensa. I know. The correct pronunciation, Tamara Mensa Shaw? Stock. Yeah, the young lady, the young Olympic champion wrestler who won gold and draped herself in the flag. Her name is Tamara Mensa Stock. So I want to get that name right, and everyone is pleased about her. You know, the Americans wanted to see that. You know, that's a little girl who didn't talk about her color, who talked about the hard work she put in to getting a gold, and that in America, she loved this country and you can accomplish whatever you want. That's the role models we want. We want role models that talk about empowerment, not that talk about victimization. We want to be able to educate the past, but move on from it in an empowering way and not an angry victimization way. This is the battle for the soul of America. Two different points of view. You know, when you look at a cube, my dear friends, and you blink your eyes, you see a different perspective. Well, we have to see both sides. But at the same time, let's not fixate on the one perspective. It goes back and forth. You could see in and see around and the depth of everything. This is what unites us. Not a Keith Olbermann disregarding what the DeSantis says, which is the truth. How do you justify an open border of thousands of illegal immigrants coming in from all over the world with different variants into America and then being bused and shipped and sent to all parts of our nation? It sounds like an infection, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't sound like it should be right. And this is the Democratic Party, the left progressive Democratic Party. You have to tell the truth. People tell me don't talk politics because it alienates your audience. Well, you know what? I've got to speak up. So be it. It's not about alienating the audience. It's about educating the audience. How do we not alienate by talking about something? Now, in this business for 45 years, I have perception of how things are shaped. Okay, a little bit. Now, folks get together in a room and they decide who, how, and what they're going to promote. Just look at organizations, folks, in entertainment back. You can see that they consult and decide on an agenda. It's about alliances, friendships that go way back. It's a caste system. That's not only in Hollywood, but especially in politics. Now, I'm open-minded. I'm not in lockstep with anyone, I've got to tell you. If a better idea for America comes from the left, then so be it. If it comes from the right, then so be it. If it comes from independents, so be it. I listen and make my assessment on terms of what's better for the nation and for the people. It has nothing to do qualified with its left and right, but yet the left attacked Trump when we talked about COVID instead of from the very beginning when no one knew what it was about. Instead of unifying together the party saying, we've got to do this. And remember Cuomo, who's now in deep trouble because of his abuse to women? Cuomolini? He sits up there like a centurion Roman governor from ancient Rome, pontificating. He pontificates himself, and I did not. Will not understand. It's like watching one of those movies, you know, and you see the Roman senator corrupt, stewed in corruption, hunting and making love over the nasty sty. I mean, think about him. Think about the lack of humbleness, saying, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not going to justify my behavior. I was not awoken. I'm Italian. Partly that's true. There's an affection to that, to Italians, and to all people. There is an affectionate side to that. I understand that. But put your hands down her pants, or whatever it was that you did, I don't know, I wasn't there, but yet this Democratic DA said he did it. Democrat, not a woman with an agenda. So say I didn't remember. You know, sometimes power, and you know what? Here's the thing in life, and if I was playing the character, I would have to say to myself, okay, how do I justify this behavior? Well, you feel sometimes you're projecting your own thinking onto someone else. Everyone's guilty of that. She smiles at you instead of repulsing away. You give her a hug. She doesn't push you away. She embraces it a little closer. She feels nice about it. And then that makes you feel closer to the person. And then you get closer. And then before you know it, you've crossed the line. Because you think it's an accepting aspect to it. And yet it's misinterpreted. That happens all the time in society. Now, we're responding to it now in this new way, whereby it's the total demonization of certain things. But so be it. Take it, Andrew, and just resign. Come back a better man. Or you should have then apologized from the beginning and go into some kind of psychological class. But I understand the alliances, except now they're breaking those alliances for him, a lot of the politicians. I've watched so many times, but it doesn't matter where an idea comes from. Like, imagine a State of the Union address, and it would start like this: our once great country is crumbling. We have lied and deceived the American people. We have pursued the interests not of all Americans, but only of special interests. We have fractured our society and lied in manipulating you into thinking we are moving forward. Day after day, our values are being rerouted. Imagine an asteroid that is on a collision course with the Earth, but the attempts to thwart it only draw it closer. We are moving toward oblivion. We are moving toward the secularization, the godless secularization of America. In King Lear, Edmund, we've given rise to a generation of Edmunds. Thou, nature, art my goddess. Remember a couple of years ago we were not allowed to say Merry Christmas? On the eve of Christmas week, think about this. I remember Hillary Clinton closed the debate she had, not with God Bless America or Merry Christmas. This is a week before Christmas. No. She said, may the force be with you. Think about that. May the force be with you. Laugh it off as a pop culture reference to the new Star Wars movie that was coming out at the time. But can you even imagine her closing by saying, Merry Christmas, or God Bless America? Oh, and may the force be with you. How about that? But no. And the attacks, unjustified, on the Trump from both the left and the right, and I'm not defending him. The hypocrisy is just something that runs rampant and makes me crazy. So we have the secularization, and we have gerrymandering of the left on elections and changing rules. This is causing epileptic seizures in politics and the media. Back in a minute.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Tired of lockdown? Let the reconnect begin. You belong here. Welcome home to the magic of Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California. Check out our new spacious outdoor dining al fresco. Romantic, market lights. It looks like a movie set. Dine under the stars and enjoy our tasty Angelo's and Vinci's pizza, pasta, seafood, chicken, salad dinners, and more. In the cool of the evening, come enjoy our award-winning menu, new wine list, specialty cocktails like our peach Bellini martini, appetizers, and more. Angelo's and Vinci's now open every day from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. for relaxing outdoor dining. No reservations needed. Just come on in for delicious Italian food. Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante, 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton. Call 714-879-4022. We're going to need a lot of pasta to get through this year. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton today.
Welcome back, Las Vegas, to the showroom at South Point, featuring the Righteous Brothers with Bill Medley and Bucky Hurd. Back by popular demand, August 17th to the 19th. Blue-Eyed Soul once again. Limited engagements, tickets only $39. Available at the box office, online at southpointcasino.com or charged by phone, 702-797-8055. Welcome back, Las Vegas, to the showroom at South Point.
All right, is that a Q2 or a Q3 expense?
Dwayne's CPA went MIA. To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement, ASAP.
Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of a fungible good?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Robert Davi Show.
I'm Dwayne Robinson, LAPD. I'm in charge here.
Not anymore. You know, so talking about this battle for the soul of America, you know, you got this hypocrisy of the left and the right that were running. I remember when Trump was running, and I felt that he was, look it. He put more on the line than any other politician we know. Right? Let's face it. The guy had a happy business. He was loved by the left and the right. I know the celebrities in Hollywood that liked him. He was giving to the left. And people, he had influence. It was good. He was in there, blah, 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 blah. He put a lot on the line. He sees the American dream. And he saw it being squandered by the incompetence in our government. He sat there and saw this squanderment. This wasn't like the last 4 years, or this is for 30, 40 years he saw this, with deals and everything else being made. He saw this issue. From his very first speech announcing his candidacy, he's given voice to what many have thought, but were too afraid, too afraid to say. It's not Trump who Americans have to fear. At the media, that Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo and Scarborough, he's not the one you have to fear. They're not fighting Trump. They're fighting Trump's influence over a group of people that have been awoken. That's the real awakening. Not the woken society from Hollywood. Not that aspect of it. That's not the wokeness. The wokeness of the forgotten man that's been awoken. I call him the man that's been ignored, and women that have been ignored for decades. It's the creeping leprosy of political correctness. Do you understand? The creeping leprosy of political correctness and the mismanagement of a bloated government that we should fear. And it's happening today. You're looking at it. You're staring it in the face. The incompetence. You're seeing it happen. Trump shook the political process to its very roots. And pundits were confused and they were in despair. They were in a panic. I watch how dishonest they were to him, and it's quite revealing. And then look at the rest of the... You know, he didn't feign. He was himself. Take him for all in all. He was a man. Period. With all the faults, with all the conflict. But it was demonized. We have most of these people today that they're politicians. And the media are programmed to accept it. I watched it. I watched Don Lemon last night interview a woman on Rick DeSantis or whatever it was, talking about the immigrants and stuff, and it was disheartening. It was disheartening because the culture of smugness. There's a culture of smugness. I don't get it as much from the conservatives. I get from them a concern. But I get a smugness. Don Lemon. It's a smugness. It's an intellectual, it's a pseudo-intellectual kind of smugness about being above them. And yet I see people concerned about, wait a minute, something doesn't make sense. There's a difference. The left accuses Trump of fear-mongering. Well, that's what the left is doing. They confused him. He just tried to wake up people. At one time, I remember Hillary Clinton said that ISIS was using what Trump said in their recruiting videos. Think about it. And we all know Hillary didn't mislead the public about Benghazi. Saying it was a video, remember? She said it was a video that caused the death of our ambassador. A video about Muhammad that caused the uprising. She used that. Now, if she lied about that, and she lies about this, and she lies about Haiti's money, this is the Democratic Party. But Trump is being accused of being a bigot or a liar. The left can pass gas in the face of the American people. Do you know that? The left can pass gas in the face of the American people, and the media and Hollywood take in a deep sniff and tell the rest of us how sweet it is. That's what it is, my friends. We get dished a load of BS, and the media salivates and tells us to eat it up like a Gordon Ramsay 10-course gourmet meal. And we're eating it up. ISIS recruiting Americans. Because what do we stand for? The left wants you to believe that the Muslim world is upset with America. That's why terrorists rise up. Consider this. Just how things are framed. Now, we don't hear much about it anymore. But Iraq used to have over 1.5 million Christians. Today, they're barely 200,000. After all the persecution. And what did they do to the Muslims? And many people on the left believe America is the cause of the Middle East's problems. It's all America's fault. Then why are Christians who have lived in Iraq since the beginning of Christianity being killed? They were there before Islam, were they not? And the same could be said about Jews in Israel before a certain religion. Let's not even get into that, but the deceivers on the left, we have those on the right who also sell America down the tubes. Just look at the absurd Congress. It goes on and 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 never stops. The great actor, Marlon Brando, who I did a film with, said about acting that he wanted to do it the way it's never been done before. Well, guess what? We had a politician who was a trailblazer. He did to politics what Picasso did to art. And, he reshaped the political discourse in America. It started with Andrew Breitbart, the Tea Party movement and stuff. And most are too spineless to broach certain subjects. They used to be, are now chiming in, but they're putting their feet in the water. They don't really fully go there. They're just standing in the shadow cast by this large presence, this colossus, who spoke for a lot of the forgotten people, denigrating the media, exposing them. And they took his voice away. Is that right? They took his Twitter away. Imagine now. 100 million followers at a tweet. Is that right? Why was it done? Are you okay with that? As a woke individual, as a Hollywood celebrity, as a concerned citizen sitting there in your communities as you're seeing the inner cities being torn apart by mobs and gangs, by seeing illegal immigrants with infectious diseases coming across our nation. No open border. An open border that's just porous and they're not doing anything about it to gerrymander. But drugs pouring in back in a minute, the soul of America. I guess I'm a little... How long do I have? A minute? 30 seconds. Oh, I got the wrong countdown. It's okay. Stuff happens like that. But this is what we're facing, my dear friends. The talking point about... You know what? I'm just going to let you listen and let that ponder for a second. Just let it ponder for a second. Just let it ponder. Think about it. The battle for the soul of America.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Columbo's, since 1954, has been serving up fine dining in a relaxing atmosphere and all at an affordable price. Columbo's is still doing something right. It's why so many travel from the West Side and the Valleys to experience and enjoy what Eagle Rock has known for years. Columbo's is truly something special. Columbo's serves up some of the most succulent, delicious steaks, as well as outstanding seafood offerings in all of Southern California. And the Columbo family's Italian specialties are worth the trip from anywhere. Columbo's is a memory maker. Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. 323-254-9138. 323-254-9138. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, serving up fine dining and a relaxing atmosphere, and all at an affordable price. Columbo's, of course.
Now it's time for MedVed's Entertainment Minute.
Based on a best-selling novel by Nancy Mitford from 75 years ago, a 3-episode miniseries on Amazon Prime tells the story of two first cousins and best friends in the years before World War II who plunge into sometimes reckless decisions in finding romance and marriage in The Pursuit of Love.
Whoever invented love ought to be shot.
Let's hope women can decide who they are, irrespective of who they marry.
Great performances by Lily James as the wild and reckless main character, and Emily Beecham as her mousy but always admiring bestie. Power a sumptuous story that will remind many of Downton Abbey if the characters there threw convention to the winds. Based loosely on the amazing true story of the real-life Mitford sisters, this adaptation largely ignores the radical politics on all sides that characterize their life. This may have hints of soap opera, but it's soap opera at the highest level. 3 stars for The Pursuit of Love with sophisticated adult content.
Robert Davi.
Another $80 million write-off.
I guess it's time to start cutting overhead.
So, my dear friends, getting back to the battle for the soul of America, it seems that the left and right media make it seem un-American to protect America. Think about that. How absurd is that? It's un-American, and I find this with the policies in California, like Newsom. Let's pump money into the, criminals, let them out. Look, they all can't be out. You can't let people come into a store and steal. In Granada Hills, $1,000 at a TJ Maxx, just under $1,000. They're walking out, 2 guys, with the merchandise. No one can stop them. Vons. Walmart, wherever it is. People can walk in and walk out. Doesn't matter. The left, right, and media have made it seem un-America to want to protect America. How absurd is this? And Trump was like Picasso in showing us exactly how distorted our society has become. Okay? Gotta shut this friggin' phone off. Now, figure it out. We let this happen. Since 1965, this has been happening. We learned that a broken pipe casing from an underground natural gas well caused a massive natural gas leak in San Fernando Valley. Our infrastructure is decayed. California, we're left with a disaster even Bobby Kennedy Jr. said is one of the worst ever. This happened here. And this mirrors our current immigration problem. I was in Moscow several years ago for over a month. Russia's become a Judeo-Christian nation. I was stunned to see churches, things like that. But with Hillary, remember the reset button in Moscow? We have more political correctness in America than ever before, and it's engendering more hostility than ever before. It's this elite stupidity that's destroying our nation, and those of you in the media and in Hollywood are not speaking up about it, but are drugged on it, like I said. They pass gas and you breathe it in. How wonderful. Dear voters, California. There's a 19th century treaty on acting called Mask or Faces. Diderot did it. Mask or Faces. The political class has worn a mask for so long that it's now become part of their skin. And it's a corrupted skin. Corpses all around us. I fear for our nation. I fear that we have to message this COVID in a right, correct way. And it's going back and forth. There's a, where was it from? There was a, it just is an absurd dance. It's an absurd dance. It's a real thing. And we've got a virus here in California we got to get rid of. It's too long that Pelosi and Schumer and Schiff and Newsom. It's too long. You've got to wake up, and I beg that the Hispanic community wakes up. I've spoken to a lot of Hispanics that have come here legally, that have jobs and businesses, and they're upset. They're upset about what's happening. They see. They haven't been galvanized yet because you have different factions. I mean, John, let me ask you. You're in society a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, somewhat. We can say that.
All right. What do you feel? What are you seeing from the public? What are you feeling from the public in terms of California? Tell me.
I'm feeling that people, clearly what I see is that people have been misinformed, right? And it has developed like this sense of, it's clearly like an anxiety, but then there's also like an excitement, right? And I say that because, I was just telling Nick off air, when California, a place like California or New York gets locked down, and then you see a state like Georgia and Florida wide open, it makes places like, where I was staying at the time, it's like I see people getting antsy. They're like, oh, well, I want to go out. I want to go to the beach and I want to enjoy life, right, quote unquote. And the misinformation that has been given out has caused, I think, more of an oppressive state for us. Being quarantined, being locked down, having these mandates, but then you also have businesses that want to be open. Our economy is struggling. We're LA, so it's like, of course, everybody wants to make money. We need to make movies. We need to get out. We need to be active, right? And it's ultimately hurting us. It's hurting us.
Think about this. Several owners of sports teams, major sports teams, here in town and other places, if there's another lockdown, they're going to go bankrupt. They're going to go bankrupt.
Yeah. So
think about the crushing aspect of the economy. This is happening, And I don't want to talk just about the COVID aspect.
Right.
I want to talk about what you see in California, the homelessness before the COVID. I want to talk about immigration. What are people saying in terms of this? Is everyone just kumbaya with the immigration, coming in illegals, opening the border, thousands getting... And people have COVID variants that are coming across. Do you think it was a wrong time to open the border?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I feel as though that we did it prematurely. Before that, though, I think that there was a heavy kumbaya when it came to homelessness and immigration, right? It's like, okay, if they come over here, let's get it done the right way, right? Which I think is a parallel that could be said even with COVID, right? But then when you think about homelessness, it's like we're looking at the way that funds are being distributed here in Los Angeles. Why aren't we investing in this building that has been dilapidated for X amount of years? How are we not building this into a place for rehabilitation for the homeless? Why are we just coming through and just smashing their encampments? And it's like, give them a place to go.
Well, it's not just a place to go, and we could come up with that issue. But see, it's like, look at the water shortage in California that's happening, the wildfires that are happening. It's an apocalypse of problems, and it's because it's been mismanaged.
Absolutely.
Pete Wilson in the 1990s had a plan, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You can look it up on the LA Times, to save the water from the runoff. The Democrats turned it down. Why? Now they're talking about desalination. You mean to tell me, with all these experts talking about global warming for decades and the coming crisis of water shortages and everything else, that desalination plants are not happening, that other avenues of protecting our environment and haven't been done or thought about, but yet they talk about an education. No, you can't have an immigrant society, illegal immigrant society, until America is straight.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
It's like putting, I don't understand it. I understand the liberal bleeding heart BS about it.
Right.
Oh, we should take them in. Well, this is where the money is not spent on the homeless. This is where the money is not spent on other areas of education.
Yeah.
80%, John, in this nation of California, in the schools, black children, black boys have a problem reading up to par, which is lower standards anyway. Doesn't that upset you?
I mean, I get it. I feel as though that it's a plan, behind it. It's an agenda. I feel like that's
all
that's
right. But now the agenda. Here's what's confusing to me: who's in charge of the teachers' union? Who's in charge of this education for decades? Who has been in charge of it? I ask you.
I don't know. To be honest with you.
I would love you to research it. Next week you tell me.
For sure.
Because I know the answer to it.
Okay.
I know the answer to what the teachers' unions make and who they give their money to.
Yeah. And see, and some of the things that I've seen have been scandals. Like I want to say it was the city of Bell. There was like a huge scandal of mismanagement of funds. I want to say up to like $1 million or more that was distributed amongst administrators and, their school system, but it was amongst just them, and it wasn't given to the students.
This is all over.
I mean, it's, and yes, you're absolutely right.
I want you to research who has run, where the teachers union has given their money, because this is the problem with California politics. And you see, the black vote matters, the brown vote matters. And because they have been, I think, manipulated or educated or indoctrinated in a certain way. And even by black leadership, strong black leadership.
Absolutely.
That's why I go to Bob Woodson and people like Shelby Steele.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People that are saying, wait a second. And let's bring this up next week.
Absolutely.
Because California has a chance to change America.
I agree.
It has a chance to change America with the right leadership.
I agree.
And you got two candidates that I'm looking at. Well, one I supported because he came in before was John Cox, who was an accountant, who I've had lunch with him, has his heart in the right place, and also Larry Elder.
Okay.
And California can change America. So I think, do some research on that, because I'd like to.
Sure.
I want to know from Washington, D.C., the educational, why these standards in California, and why any child, especially with having a black president, where literacy should have been at the core of everything. You know what I'm saying? Why that didn't happen. God bless you. God bless America. See you tomorrow.
Are you tired of your favorite talk show sounding like this? What if you can hear your favorite talk shows in crystal clear, high-definition sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio, 7 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in true CRN high-definition audio. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Michael Medved, Tom Hartman, Stephanie Miller, Larry Elder, Sebastian Gorka, Charlie Kirk, and more. Fred Dreyer on sports, entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Lounge, The What's Cooking Show, The What's Cooking on Wine Show, all in true CRN high-definition audio. Sports, business, entertainment, travel, food, wine, politics, there's something for everyone on CRN, and it's all available in CRN high-definition sound. Log in to crntalk.com for listings and information. crntalk.com.
The radio channels. The radio channels. CRN.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. A raging wildfire has destroyed much of a California gold rush era town.
The Northern California Dixie wildfire tore through the quaint Sierra Nevada mountain town of Greenville, leaving much of the downtown in ashes. Officials confirmed some buildings were destroyed. An AP photographer described seeing a gas station, hotel, and local bar burned to the ground. Footage from Wednesday night and early this morning showed fires still burning amid the husks of downtown buildings, some of which are more than a century old. The Dixie Fire has grown to over 428 square miles. It's been burning for 3 weeks across Plumas and Butte counties. Fire crews are bracing for another explosive run of flames, fed by bone-dry vegetation and 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I'm Jennifer King.
Also at townhall.com, state lawmakers are telling Governor Andrew Cuomo that their ongoing impeachment investigation is nearing completion. They're giving the New York governor a deadline of August 13th to provide additional evidence. Since March, the Assembly's Judiciary Committee has been investigating whether there are grounds to impeach the Democratic governor over the sexual harassment allegations and other matters. Cuomo says he will not resign. Richard Trumka, the president of the powerful AFL-CIO labor organization, has died unexpectedly.
The 72-year-old Trumka had served as president of the federation, which represents more than 12.5 million workers for more than a decade, and has been a close ally of the Biden White House. At the White House, President Biden said Trumka was, quote, more than the head of the AFL-CIO. He was a very personal, close friend. The president said Trumka died while on a camping trip with his grandsons. Trumka died of what is believed to be a heart attack, a source familiar with the matter said. He led the AFL-CIO as president since 2009. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
The stocks are in positive territory. The Dow is up 193 points. More at townhall.com.
This summer, we all want to reconnect with friends and family, and the team at Legacy Box can help you make the most of your time together by enabling you to revisit classic memories while creating new ones. Legacy Box is an affordable way to have footage of family trips, weddings, and other milestones trapped on home movies and photos safely stored on a thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud. The process is remarkably simple. Just follow the guide from Legacy Box's all-inclusive kit, and their experienced team will create digital copies of your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Soon you'll have everything saved on the format of your choice, along with your originals. Imagine highlights from the past, digitally preserved and always ready to share, whether you're telling stories on the porch, relaxing by the pool, or gathering for a barbecue. Even better, Legacy Box is offering 50% off this week. Visit legacybox.com/lbox to take advantage of this limited time offer and ensure your past is always within reach. That's legacybox.com/lbox to save 50%. legacybox.com/lbox.
Importers having to contend with supply trouble, rising prices, overwhelmed ports, and a shortage of ships, trains, and trucks expected to last into 2022.
The experience is disturbing enough that many are reconsidering cost-saving decisions they made in recent years to shift production out of the United States to China and other low-cost producers. Now they think it might make sense to bring manufacturing back across the Pacific, at least to Mexico, if not the United States. The goal would be to protect themselves from the risks of relying on factories an ocean away in China.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Qatar Airways has grounded 13 Airbus A350s over degradation of the plane's fuselage. The aircraft will be removed from service until such time as the root cause can be established and a solution made available to permanently correct the underlying condition. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. At least 11 people are dead after a van carrying migrants crashes in Texas.
A van packed with about 25 migrants crashed Wednesday in South Texas on US 281, killing at least 11 people, including the driver, according to authorities. Brooks County Sheriff Urbino Martinez says the van, designed to hold 15 passengers, was speeding and top-heavy when the driver lost control on a curve and the vehicle tipped over. Martinez said the van was not being pursued. Martinez said he believed all the passengers were migrants. Sergeant Nathan Brandley of the Texas Department of Public Safety said more than a dozen people were injured. I'm Mike Gracia.
78-year-old New York real estate heir Robert Durst is expected to take the stand at his Los Angeles County murder trial. It's likely to last several days. Durst is charged with killing his best friend Susan Berman in 2000. He's pleaded not guilty in the case. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The